Welcome back to XRP Spotlight, your home for the latest XRP news, crypto market updates, and everything happening in the world of digital assets. XRP holders, congratulations, because the next 48 hours could be some of the most important hours we've seen in weeks. There is a lot happening across the financial markets right now, and the crypto market is reacting in real time. We have major geopolitical developments, important economic decisions on the horizon, and several key events that could influence where XRP heads next. While many investors were expecting explosive price action immediately, what we're seeing instead is something potentially even more important: stability, consolidation, and the possibility of momentum building beneath the surface. The market is paying attention, traders are watching closely, and XRP holders are trying to figure out whether this is the beginning of something bigger. Today we're breaking down exactly what's happening, why markets are reacting the way they are, and why the next 48 hours may determine the direction of XRP and the broader crypto market moving forward. Following the latest international developments and signs of easing tensions in global markets, investors responded positively across multiple asset classes. XRP saw a noticeable move higher, climbing from recent lows and posting a healthy gain as traders reacted to the news. The increase wasn't a massive breakout, and we didn't see the kind of explosive move that sends prices soaring overnight, but that may actually be a positive sign. Instead of emotional buying and unsustainable speculation, the market delivered a measured response. Bitcoin moved higher, Ethereum followed, and several major cryptocurrencies experienced similar gains. This coordinated movement suggests that investors are viewing recent developments as broadly supportive for risk assets. XRP benefited from that optimism, but at the same time, traders remain cautious because they understand that significant uncertainty still exists. That's why prices have moved higher but have also entered a period of consolidation rather than continuing straight upward. One of the most interesting reactions occurred outside of the crypto market. Oil prices moved sharply lower following the news, which caught the attention of economists and financial analysts around the world. Energy prices play a major role in inflation expectations, and when oil declines, it can reduce pressure on policymakers. Lower energy costs can help ease inflation concerns and improve sentiment across financial markets. Investors understand this relationship very well, which is why stocks, cryptocurrencies, and other risk assets often react positively when inflation pressures appear to be easing. This connection may not seem obvious at first glance, but it has become one of the most important themes influencing markets over the last few years. For XRP holders, this matters because broader economic conditions frequently influence capital flows into the cryptocurrency market. The focus now shifts toward upcoming economic events that could shape investor sentiment over the next several days. Market participants are closely watching central bank decisions and economic policy updates. These events have historically created significant volatility across stocks, bonds, commodities, and digital assets. When policymakers make decisions regarding interest rates, investors immediately reassess risk, growth expectations, and future economic conditions. That reassessment often creates large market movements. XRP holders should understand that while crypto-specific news remains important, macroeconomic events can sometimes have an even bigger short-term impact on price action. This is one reason why the next 48 hours are attracting so much attention from traders and analysts alike. Another factor contributing to market optimism is the belief that easing geopolitical tensions could create a more stable environment for global growth. Financial markets generally prefer predictability. When uncertainty decreases, investors often become more comfortable allocating capital into risk assets. However, it's important to recognize that the current situation remains fragile. Agreements, negotiations, and diplomatic developments often evolve over time. Markets may react positively initially, but investors will continue monitoring developments closely to determine whether progress is sustainable. This uncertainty explains why traders are optimistic but not euphoric. They recognize the potential benefits of improved stability while also understanding that circumstances can change quickly. From a technical perspective, XRP is showing several encouraging signs. After experiencing a significant pullback earlier in the month, the asset managed to hold key support levels and avoid breaking below major psychological thresholds. This resilience is important because it demonstrates that buyers remain active in the market. Instead of collapsing under selling pressure, XRP found support and began stabilizing. That stabilization process is often one of the first steps required before a stronger recovery can develop. Markets rarely move directly from panic selling into sustained rallies. More commonly, they establish a base, consolidate, and gradually rebuild confidence. The recent behavior in XRP appears consistent with that pattern. One technical development attracting attention is the possibility of a double bottom formation. Traders often look for these patterns because they can indicate that sellers are losing control and that buyers are beginning to regain strength. While no chart pattern guarantees future performance, technical analysts closely monitor these formations because they have historically preceded significant trend reversals in certain market conditions. XRP's recent price action has sparked discussion about whether a similar scenario may be unfolding now. Confirmation is still needed, but the setup is certainly attracting attention from experienced traders. Momentum indicators are also beginning to improve. Several shorter-term trend measurements have shifted in a direction that suggests buying pressure may be returning. Technical traders pay close attention to moving average crossovers because they can signal changing market dynamics. Recent chart activity indicates that XRP may be entering a period where momentum gradually improves if current conditions continue. Again, these indicators are not guarantees, but they provide useful information about how market participants are behaving. Right now, the signals appear more constructive than they did during the height of the recent sell-off. Another important development involves market positioning. Data suggests that many traders remain positioned defensively despite the recent recovery. In other words, there is still a significant amount of skepticism in the market. Ironically, that skepticism can sometimes support further upside. When large numbers of traders expect prices to fall, positive developments can force them to adjust positions quickly. This process can create additional buying pressure as bearish traders rush to close short positions. While it is too early to say whether a major short squeeze is developing, the current positioning environment is something traders are watching very closely. At the same time, investors should remember that volatility remains a defining characteristic of cryptocurrency markets. Positive news can drive prices higher, but unexpected developments can reverse sentiment just as quickly. This is why experienced traders focus not only on opportunities but also on risk management. The market's current optimism is encouraging, but disciplined decision-making remains essential. Successful investing often involves balancing excitement with caution, especially during periods of heightened uncertainty. Global markets are also monitoring developments in Asia, particularly decisions that could influence liquidity conditions worldwide. Changes in monetary policy from major economies have historically triggered significant market reactions. Investors understand that financial markets are increasingly interconnected. Decisions made in one part of the world can influence asset prices across multiple regions. As a result, traders are evaluating not only domestic developments but also international events that could affect global capital flows. For XRP specifically, the next 2 days may provide critical information regarding the strength of current momentum. If supportive conditions continue and broader markets remain stable, buyers could gain additional confidence. That confidence could help XRP challenge important resistance levels and potentially extend its recovery. On the other hand, if economic surprises create uncertainty, the market may experience another period of volatility. This is why analysts are describing the next 48 hours as particularly important. Several key variables are converging at the same time, creating a situation where market direction could become much clearer very soon. The long-term outlook remains a topic of intense discussion within the XRP community. Supporters continue focusing on adoption, regulatory developments, and the potential impact of future legislation on the digital asset industry. Many believe that clearer regulatory frameworks could unlock significant opportunities for blockchain innovation and institutional participation. While those developments may take time, investors remain optimistic about the broader direction of the industry. That optimism continues supporting interest in XRP despite short-term market fluctuations. One thing that stands out in the current environment is how resilient the crypto market has been despite numerous challenges. Economic uncertainty, regulatory questions, and geopolitical developments have all created obstacles over the past several years. Yet digital assets continue attracting attention from investors, institutions, and technology innovators. This resilience has strengthened confidence among long-term participants who believe blockchain technology will play an increasingly important role in the future financial system. Ultimately, XRP holders have reason to pay close attention over the coming days. The combination of improving technical signals, stabilizing market conditions, easing inflation concerns, and important economic events creates a unique setup. While nobody can predict the future with certainty, the next 48 hours may provide valuable clues regarding where XRP and the broader crypto market are headed next. Whether this becomes the beginning of a stronger recovery or simply another step in a longer consolidation process remains to be seen. What is clear is that markets are entering a critical period, and investors around the world will be watching every development closely as the next chapter unfolds.